Welcome to Up to the Minute. We've made it through another week. It is Friday, September the 11th, 2020. Welcome to all of you. We've got your HCC news and information. I'm Todd Duplantis. I've got two co-hosts joining me this morning. Of course, we want to start off the show on a very solemn note as we remember and honor those who lost their lives 19 years ago today during the terror attacks of 9/11. Survivors now who still mourn their loss in the country that changed forever in that 1 hour or so when those attacks happened, and our lives have never been the same ever since. I'm going to welcome my co-hosts here, Brittany Pacheco and Frank Cooper. Good morning to you both. It's a somber day. You know, it's hard to believe it's been 19 years. I'm going to ask both of you if you remember that day and your memories of that day. Brittany, we'll start with you.
Hey, good morning, Todd, and good morning, everyone joining us on Up to the Minute. I most certainly remember that day in 2001. I was in seventh grade, if that's gonna, put my age out there. And I was having first period gym. After that class was over, our coaches brought us back into the gymnasium to share with us the news that had happened in New York City. And I just remember there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, because there was talk that Houston was maybe next. And because my middle school was so close to downtown that my mom physically came to my classroom to take me out of school. So very surreal day. I still remember it very vividly. I just can't believe it's been 19 years. So Frank, what are your memories of September 11th?
2001, I was a sophomore in high school. I was in art class. We were photography class. We was taking pictures of like abstract objects. And I just remember my teacher yelling and screaming. She ran down the hallway and she wheeled down the TV, those old school TV with the stands. She wheeled it in class, and when she turned it on, literally maybe 5 seconds before the second plane hit, and was, as a 16-year-old kid, I'm just like in disbelief. Like, is this a movie? Is this Independence Day in real life? And I have family in New York, and I remember that those 2 days we could not get a hold of our family. All the phones were busy. No cell phone coverage can get through. It was scary. That's probably the first time in my life that I was terrified of potential family tragedy at 16. So I'm gone, not forgotten. 19 years. I mean, like you said, we remember exactly where we were yesterday, like it was yesterday. And we pray to those people who lost their loved ones, and let's remain strong and never forget.
Absolutely. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was on the cell phone with my dad driving into Fox 26, headed to the newsroom. I was working the day shift. I heard on KTRH about the first plane hitting. They weren't even sure if it was a jet or a small plane. And then I walked in the newsroom and the second plane hit moments after that. Immediately, they dispatched my photographer and myself. And the photographer I was working that day is still a friend of mine, Howard Essie. And we headed out to Bush Intercontinental Airport to get reaction from passengers about to board planes. Of course, everything was into turmoil at that time. Flights were canceled and people were gathering to us. That was before the cell phones and the news, and there were some TVs on at the airport, but people saw a camera. They knew we were news people, and they literally gathered around us asking questions, shouting questions. And we were getting information from our newsroom about another plane going down in Pennsylvania. It was chaos, but I remember talking to those people one-on-one, getting interviews, but also relaying the news of the tragedy of it happened that day. I will never forget that day. That was something very, very sobering day for all of us. We're gonna move on to HCC news and information. Take a deep breath here, and we're gonna get some thoughts from Dr. Jimmy Adams. And Dr. Adams is going to join us in a moment, but I want to introduce real fast our guest from the program director, Law Enforcement Criminal Justice, Public Safety Institute, HCC Northeast, Chris Carmean. Thank you for being here, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. We are going to be back to talk with you in just a few moments. Now I'm going to move on to Dr. Jimmy Adams, our resident poet. Good morning, Dr. Adams. Thanks for being here on this very incredible and somber day.
I know.
Thanks, and thanks for having me again on today. And I remember the day as well. I was with Lone Star College, believe it or not, as a professor, full-time professor at that time. So, yeah, events that I won't ever forget. So.
Well, Dr. Adams, you are on every Friday with a piece of poetry. Today is no exception, and you've got a piece this morning called The Lonely Journey. Can you tell us a bit about it before you get to sharing it?
Okay, yeah, this is a piece I wrote. This is kind of one of the first pieces I wrote when I started writing, and it was just to recap, my journey, from the projects of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, growing up as a minority, a Black kid, and in the projects, going on to college, and my experience through college, and then getting out of college, graduating, and trying to get a job, getting a job, and all of the ups and downs that I've gone through, as a minority, trying to survive, in the society, and this is kind of a reflection of that. But all of us, are on our own journey. And when I say a lonely journey home, we all, trying to get back. And one day we will be called home. And so our journey is just to try to survive and until, God calls us home. So this is kind of what this piece kind of reflects around. Did y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Okay. Go ahead and get started, Dr. Adams.
Okay. So, I'll give it a little backdrop with my intro. Our journey through life can be a tough reality, and in my eyes, trying to survive in a cruel world can be a lonely journey. It's a lonely journey when there are many around you, but you feel all alone. It is a lonely feeling, always being the first, the only Black in this or that. It's a constant struggle and a frustrating fight to be seen, accepted, and heard. So my journey has taken many turns, and I have had to walk, and have had to run. I've had to take some high roads in order to avoid obstacles in my way, and I've had to take some low roads that were leading to nowhere. But I answer and I look to a higher power for strength and guidance. And so I press on. And so this is my reality of this pilgrimage. And it's titled The Lonely Journey. So cue music, Nathan. Man, it's hot out here on the road. I'm tired. I gotta take a break. I gotta find somewhere to rest. I gotta get up out of this heat. I gotta find somewhere to sleep, because the pavement on the street, it's hot to my feet. I'm tired and exhausted from the heat. I step in time to the beat in my head. I'm lonely and I'm scared. I dance to the rhythm like a puppet on a string. I'm shouting, but no one can hear me sing. I travel where many fear to go. My road, it's long, and my progress is slow. My way, it's dark. I can't see any light, but I push on. I push on. I push on through the night. Hear me, this is my plight. And I look in the crowd for a friendly face. And as I stand alone, I realize this is my race. I'm on the outside looking in. I can't tell the enemy from a friend. I'm like a ghost no one can see. Eyes stare, but they look straight through me. But all I want is to be part of the game. Nothing more, just treat me the same. But I've lost all faith, all hope is gone. And I often wonder, was I meant to travel this journey alone? Because my head, it's bloody, my clothes are soaked and torn, yet I continue, although my feet are tired and worn. But only God knows where I'm going, and He's not left me out here alone. So I continue my lonely journey home. You know, it's tough trying to survive in this world. Life can get the best of you, especially when you've been out on the road as long as I have. Sometimes you got to take a break so you can figure out the next road to take. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. You never disappoint here on the Friday morning show. We appreciate you joining us this morning. We've got to hook you up with someone like Eric Clapton. I think your words, especially in that song, that could fit into a song of his or something like that. We've got to hook you up with one of these artists.
All right, do it, man. I know you got all those connections out there.
We got the connections. Actually, Frank has all the connections.
Come on, Frank, set me up, man.
Right now, probably texting Beyonce or something.
I'm just the man behind the man that's behind the man.
Dr. Adams, we appreciate you joining us here and keeping the Fridays real for us here.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, all my pieces are around social reality and a lot of the things that social issues that we face every day. And hopefully it resonates with some folks and it brings, you know, enlightens some others. And I know everybody, some like it, some don't, but that's the whole purpose of the awareness piece. So to get you thinking about what's going on in this world. So hopefully it had some kind of effect on somebody.
It certainly does. It has an effect on all of us. We appreciate you being here. Dr. Adams, thank you for joining us.
All right, guys.
Spitting that fire, Dr. Adams, spitting that fire.
You got it, man.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right.
We're going to move across to Chris Carmean. Thanks for being here again, Chris. You are the program director for the Criminal Justice Law Enforcement Center under our Public Safety Center of Excellence. Tell us a bit about, obviously people think police officers would be going through your Center of Excellence, but tell us a bit about your program and exactly what type of work one can get going through this Center of Excellence.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me this morning. The program really is geared toward law enforcement for the most part, even though criminal justice is a segment of that. We have three functions in our program. Number one, we offer a degree program in criminal justice. It's a 2-year associate's degree that will allow individuals to transfer to a 4-year university and then go on and seek a bachelor's degree, if not more. I remember years ago when I was in journalism and I wanted to get into criminal justice, and I went into the master's program at the University of Nebraska, and that gave me an avenue, if you will, to go on to law school and further accomplishments. So that's what we try to do with the criminal justice program academically. We also provide in-service training for active peace officers in the state of Texas. A lot of people don't realize that police officers have to undergo 40 hours of continuing education training every 2 years. We provide that service to over 1,000 active peace officers in the state. But primarily the bread and butter of our program is the Basic Peace Officer Academy. Those who are interested in becoming law enforcement officers, and there are 35 different varieties in the state of Texas, we provide the basic licensing training that they need to become police officers. And we service there are about 60 police agencies in the Houston region, including HPD, the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and Pasadena. But there are numerous other agencies for which we provide the training and subsequent employment.
Well, Chris, let me ask you this. One of the things that we have a Police Chief Greg Cunningham on our show each week, HCC Police Chief, and he says it certainly benefits him to have a great training facility for his officers to go through training on an annual basis on our HCC campuses. And I don't think a lot of folks know how you guys really do have a great training facility out there at the Northeast College.
Yeah, it was put into place. We started opening for use in 2007. And we've got right now about 40, 50 agencies that actually use this. The United States federal government, Bureau of Prisons, IRS even. But all the other agencies, there's no place else for them to train. You understand, Houston Police Department has its own training facility for their personnel. Same thing with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Nobody else has a facility like ours.
Right.
And we've always said, if we build the first one, we'll gain a share of the market. And we've done that considerably over the past 13 years.
You touched on this briefly, but can you go through some of the certifications that you offer? And you did mention you can get a 2-year and continue on with a 4-year degree through a partnering university, correct?
Right. There are 2 actually degree programs we offer. The first one is an AA in criminal justice, which is transferable to the 4-year university. We also offer an AAS in law enforcement, which enables those to get not only the degree, but as part of the degree program, enter the Basic Peace Officer Academy and become a law enforcement officer.
And can you tell us about the job possibilities for those who go through your academy? Do you help place them with agencies or local agencies, or do they have problems? Or I should say, is it easy for them to go out there and get a job once they graduate?
Well, actually, there's quite a bit of demand, even though nationally they're using a number of, I think, around 7.6%. If you look at the Houston region, it's considerably higher. It's kind of interesting. We get recruitment flyers and calls from all over the state of Texas. But our graduates primarily, they're interested in coming into the Houston area to all those law enforcement agencies. And they don't leave. They want to stay in the Houston area, which is, I find interesting.
Chris, I want to ask you this too, because I talked to Chief Cunningham about this on a weekly basis. The national topic of discussion over the last several months has been one that has questioning police departments, in some cases defunding. Has that national discussion played a role into the curriculum as you're working with officers and bringing awareness to some of the concerns out there?
Well, I think we're going to have to be making some changes. There'll be more emphasis, I think, on de-escalation. There'll be a lot more emphasis on communication skills. I do know that one of the state senators has told our state accreditation agency, the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, to put an inherent bias training into the academy curriculum. Now that has to be developed, and we expect that to come into place in the next year. Has it tempered demand for law enforcement jobs? No. Our program is very vibrant. I'm running 4 police academies right now that average about 30 to 35 apiece. We'll be starting another one in September 28th, and that's going to have a minimum of 40 in it. So I don't think the demand has been tamped down at all.
And I would imagine, as with many professions, we've got an aging workforce, and a number of police officers and peace officers are going to be retiring in the next 10 years, and we need to backfill those positions as well. Yeah,
not only age is going to be coming into play, but also a lot of people who may have considered staying on longer because of current events are leaving sooner than expected. And of course, those openings are going to have to be filled.
One last question. How has the transition been going with you for transitioning to the online environment and delivering an education virtually?
Well, there are limitations. We've gotten permission from Texas Commission on Law Enforcement to offer online training for those facets of training, which are pretty much classroom based. However, there's a considerable amount of skills training that we have to perform. And of course, we can't do that online. And TCOE, the commission, has said, no, we can't do that. So we've been working with administration. They've been very receptive to us, and they're allowing us to go face-to-face in limited circumstances for limited training.
Well, I know, Chris, like you and many of us are ready to get back in some shape or form sooner rather than later in our buildings and getting to work with our students. We appreciate you being here this morning, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Todd, thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you're interested in more information on the law enforcement program through the Center of Excellence, we'll have a link for it in the social media post of this show. On with the show, HCC News and Information, Brittany Pacheco, Frank Cooper back. Frank, real briefly towards the end of the show, we're going to talk a little football because that's back, whether you like it or not. Boy, Texans really, no, we're not. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Brittany, let's start with you. It's not too late to register for Second Start, and that's where we need people to register right now because now is the time.
Absolutely.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brittany. Go ahead. Ladies first.
Hey, I know you're eager to talk about sports and all, but let's get through this first, Frank. But I will say, in light of sports, yesterday just wasn't a good day for Houston sports, just saying. But you're right, Todd. It's not too late to register for Second Start because you have until the start of classes, which is September 21st, to register. So if you're interested in getting maybe a class out of the way, because these are a little bit of accelerated courses, be sure to go and visit hccs.edu/now to register. Once again, Second Start begins on September 21st. You have until that date to register for your classes.
And Frank, All In for HCC, it's a campaign we do annually for our faculty and staff, and it's really to help out our students by providing funds for scholarships.
Absolutely. So for people who have financial struggles, they're trying to get funding for school, want to stay on track with their classes, this is how people can make their mark. Please show students love. Donate to our scholarship fund to help annual faculty, students, people try to better themselves education-wise. Now, September 8th through November 6th, people can sign up, payroll deduct today through your paycheck, and your gift will yield an impact all year. For more information, donate hccs.edu/allinforhcc.
That's right, Frank. And of course, on the same note, funding is available for our students who may still be struggling after Hurricane Harvey. Help After Harvey, the campaign. It's available as more or less a scholarship or a grant, something you don't have to pay back. In Brittany, it's hard to believe. It's been a little over 3 years, but there are still students who have been impacted by Harvey. We've got a solution for them.
Definitely, Todd. So that grant that you're talking about, you don't have to pay it back, which is amazing for our students who are worried about finances and going back to school, or they need assistance in various areas. So get hands-on virtual help with tuition and fees, books, transportation, housing, and childcare assistance. So this is really covering a wide range of areas that are of high concern to our current students as well as any returning students. So there are morning and afternoon sessions available. You just need to go to hccs.edu/harveyassistance in order to find out more information.
For our faculty and staff who attended convocation, you will know that we have a campaign drive called One College. You can now check a website to stay up to date on college events, testing and training updates, and answers to questions you may have, as well as access to our monthly newsletters. For faculty and staff, make sure you check out the website, www.onecollegehcc.com. Some dates to keep in mind, the fall schedule. Well, of course, Second Start is coming up, Frank. And as we mentioned, it's right around the corner.
Absolutely. So Second Start registration until class begins September 21st. So if you want to register, you have to the 21st to register. Now, September 28th, faculty for in-person classes return to campus. Now, there's more. October 5th, in-person flex campus lab-based courses will begin. So for more information on that, go to hccs.edu/now.
Our student virtual lobby is open right now, folks. Have some patience, though. You can reach a faculty advisor or someone you may have a question for financial aid. Log on to hccs.edu/virtual lobby. They will get back to you. You can communicate with either email, a callback, or now Zoom. You can talk face-to-face with somebody virtually. They've got extended hours. For more information, check our website. But the website, hccs.edu/virtual lobby. And Brittany, outdoor Wi-Fi zones, yeah, they're happening.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing, especially here at HCC, because we know there are many people who need access to this resource. So HCC campus buildings are still closed, but the parking lot resources is very much available for our outdoor Wi-Fi zones. And this allows not only our students to connect to the Wi-Fi, but also prospective students. So this also means that our students will not, one, have access to the restrooms because you cannot enter the building. And also you won't have access to any outlets to charge your devices. So make sure you take care of business ahead of time, make sure your devices are all completely charged. And for information on which campus has this outdoor Wi-Fi zone, be sure to go to hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi.
That's right. So football started last night. Did you watch it? Okay. I know one guy who did, Frank Cooper. What did you think of the game?
You know what? I'm a Chiefs fan, so the game ended beautifully for me.
Great for you.
I was very ecstatic. I love the offense. They look like they're in midseason form, adding some balance to the offense, passing and rushing attack. With the Texans, it's different year, same old story.
Yeah.
Can't run the football consistently. Bad offensive line play. They seem like the Texans offense, Bill O'Brien, he's not making aggressive calls downfield as far as throwing the ball downfield. They did it, but when the game was all out of hand. So it's just one of those things, man. Like, they'll go 8-8, 9-7, probably win the division, and get to the wild card round again. But I gotta say, man, I'm not the kind of guy that roots for people to lose their job. But if they hit a wall again this season on the playoffs, you might have to reevaluate Bill O'Brien's position, either as head coach or maybe take away the GM duties for him because he has too much going on his plate.
That is an understatement with Bill O'Brien. Boy, I'll tell you, I made a decision last year after they choked in Kansas City. Hello. Didn't learn anything from that, to not watch the Texans anymore. Every year I watch them. They're frustrating as can be. And quite honestly, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and again and expecting a different result. Guess what? We got Bill O'Brien, and they made him a general manager. He trades away Andre Hopkins. Don't get me started here. Are you kidding me? So there you go. There's my rant. So yeah, it has nothing to do with politics, but I'm not going to watch the Texans this year. I'm going to enjoy my Sundays. I enjoyed last night, and I'm just going to enjoy my Sundays and maybe go for a run and catch a movie, something like that.
Well, I mean, if you want to watch a competent football franchise with a competent front office, come to Kansas City, man. We got room.
Well, I'm a Saints fan, and I got nothing against Kansas City, so I wish them all the well. I like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a great star in the making. Boy, that guy's an incredible quarterback. But I watched some college football. I'm looking forward to seeing U of H this year, so I'll still support it. Texans ain't going to happen in my world. I'm just done with them, and I've been done since the end of last year. So there you go. I don't think I'm alone with this either, Frank.
No, I think, and it doesn't get any easier. You guys, they play Baltimore next week, so
yeah,
you could be sitting at a 0-2, 1-3 start at the beginning of the season. So they got to rally up the troops very quickly.
Once again, who cares? Let's just see where that goes this year. We still got the Astros, Brittany, the Rockets, yeah, but doors about to close on them too. So we'll see how that goes. The Rockets, it wasn't a good day for Houston teams yesterday. Did the Dynamo play? Because if they did, I hope they did. I hope they didn't play yesterday.
I'm not sure if they played. I'm
I'll
not-
call my son.
I don't really
He's
follow
got a podcast.
MLS. I mean, like, not that I really follow soccer as it is, but if I am going to watch soccer, it's going to probably be, Premier League and
Yeah.
all that. I don't follow MLS. Sorry. No hate to the Dynamo. I've been to many of their
That's quite
games.
all right. Yeah.
The Dash games are fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I just don't follow MLS.
Right. But you follow the Astros then, right?
I do. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, like I said, yesterday just wasn't a good day for Houston sports,
No.
and maybe because all three of our, major teams were playing at the same. I don't know. I've got theories, but yeah, it's just very unfortunate.
There you go. Well, guys, we're about to wrap up today's show. I'm sure we could go on forever complaining about the Texans, but we're not. Anyway, Monday, we're going to get back into the week with talking about maternal care for minorities with Yvonne Harris from an organization called Improving Maternal Health, and Deborah Mouton, a mother who has witnessed it firsthand. If you have children, you want to tune in for this show. We've got a very important show for you. And we've also going to be, Brittany, we're also going to be focusing on some of our centers of excellence next week as well.
That's right. And that includes hearing from Richard Goslin, who's the interim dean of the Social and Behavioral Sciences Department, and Gabriela Zambrano of MBDA to talk about the upcoming virtual Export Academy. So I know I've seen flyers about it in the past, so we're going to hear about it firsthand come Monday at 10 a.m.
And Frank, you're going to join us a couple times next week too, right?
Yes, sir. Tuesday and Friday. Let's get it.
We're looking forward to it. Watch a little football over the weekend. Let me know how it goes. Some college sports kicks off as well. Well, that kicked off last week, but they'll be playing this weekend too.
Yeah, I think UT plays UTEP, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you guys got a big game this Sunday too against the Fighting Tom Brady's, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game.
I forgot about that briefly.
The Fighting Tom Brady's.
That's funny.
I like that.
Good game.
I like that. All right, folks, we're wrapping up the show. Frank and Brittany, thanks for being here today. And thank each of you for joining us on this very special day. We appreciate you being here. Get out this weekend, enjoy it somewhat. Make sure you mask up, stay safe, and we'll see you Monday morning at 10 a.m. live on Up to the Minute.